We welcome you to episode 37 of Battin and Chattin on the Eastern Observer, alongside Brandon Natale. I'm Denis Tuohy. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube to be kept in the loop on everything Eastern Observer. Most importantly, Battin and Chattin. Our show can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts can be found. Our show is presented to you by Black Cats NYC. Be sure to download their newest hit single, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, which can be found wherever music is found: Spotify, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM Satellite Radio, and many others. Brandon, it is opening week in Major League Baseball. A lot to talk about, a lot of exciting stuff. How stoked are you right now for the baseball season?
That depends. In the Mets, as a Mets fan perspective, or just in baseball in general.
I mean, I guess start with whatever one.
Well, I guess from the Mets perspective, not so good. After an 0-4 start, we'll elaborate on that. But hey, it's beginning of the season. I like to think it's just, them getting used to just getting started. I'm not going to overreact, press the panic button just yet. Sure, there's some room to panic. But hey, like I said, it's early start to the season. So we see how that goes, and we're going to elaborate on that more later. But then just as a baseball fan in general, just baseball's definitely off to a great start. I feel like there's definitely been a lot going on. I remember watching opening night, the drama down in Texas, where Jonah Heim missed the ball, where he thought it was a foul ball, but ended up being a wild pitch. And I forgot the team that was playing. You remember the team they were playing? Texas opening night?
Oh, you know what? I honestly forget offhand, but I feel like it was a team that I should know. It wasn't the Blue. No, it wasn't the Blue Jays. They played the Rays.
Was it the Rays?
No, it was the Cubs.
Yes, it was the Cubs.
It was the Cubs.
And it just was a great game because the Langford, I think that's the player that just
Wyatt Langford. Yep.
Yeah, who is like a young player, young rookie who just got called up.
Former 6th overall pick.
Yeah, and it would have been a good story if he got the walk-off hit, but who ended up being? Jonah Heim, who almost cost him the game and yet helped them win it. So I thought that was really cool. Juan Soto, definitely with that impressive outfield assist to beat the Astros opening night. That was really cool. I'm not gonna lie, as a Met fan, I have to say that was pretty impressive. And you can see Aaron Judge and Soto, they're both looking at each other like, hey. You can see it. Everyone's saying that's Judge's new partner in crime. That's really cool to see because Judge never really had that, I guess, partner in crime. I mean, sure, maybe you could say Stanton, maybe Aaron Hicks, but
yeah, I can't think of anybody. It was always clear like Aaron Judge was like the best player on the Yankees. I was talking about this with my cousin the other day, and I was talking about with my dad that it kind of reminds me a lot of like A-Rod and Jeter. In certain aspects, not completely one for one,
right?
But in like how Judge and Jeter were both like the guy before this new, the better player joined them,
right?
Kind of, and so it's similar in that regard. And I'm glad to see that like their chemistry is obviously a lot better than Jeter and A-Rod's were. So
yeah, I could see. Yeah,
I'm
even
happy.
just a couple games, you could see.
Yeah, that they all really like each other. They all really enjoy playing with each other.
Yeah, and Verdugo too, who's not, who was not liked by Yankee fans. Now he came over to their side, and they're like, welcome him with open arms.
Right, and Judge. We've seen what he can do when he's the driving force of a lineup. I think his 2022 season is the best season ever for a hitter, ever. The way he carried that lineup, which was objectively terrible, and carried them to the ALCS, where they got swept by Houston, but still carried them to the ALCS, is astounding. No other player in the history of the league, I think, can do that. Drive a team like that. Turn a team sport into an individual game. It's unbelievable. It doesn't get talked about as much as it should, in my opinion, that part of it, because wins don't matter anymore. Whatever. And now, think of what he's capable to do at his peak. He's not even the best player on the team anymore.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think that's a hot take.
No,
Juan Soto is like an all around like a hitter, especially at Yankee Stadium. We haven't even seen him at Yankee Stadium with the short
Yeah,
porch and
no, we
title.
haven't seen Olaf.
Like
He's a home run. Yeah.
the plate discipline of Juan Soto, while combining the contact and the power, the walks, things like that. He's just unbelievable at the plate. So I don't know if I'd say he's a better hitter than Aaron Judge. Maybe that's being a little too overreactionary.
I'd say a little bit. I see what you're getting at. I know what you
Like
mean.
maybe like they're about even, but one's a little better than the other.
I feel like they're definitely both different. I mean, Judge, I'm sure he's a great
Judge is more of
outfielder.
a power hitter. Soto's
More
more of a contact hitter. Things like
right.
that.
I mean, Soto could be power when if he wants to.
Right. Yeah, of
Any
course.
given day.
He's shown it.
I know what you mean. They definitely have equal talent. It's just it's they
Yeah.
have opposites like skill sets to make them
Yeah,
unique
I
the
guess
way
what
they are, and
I
it's
guess
when you put them together on the same team. Like, sure, you might not get, like you said, the contact with Judge, but you get that with Soto. Soto, you might maybe Soto. I feel like has the power like Judge, but say
yeah.
he doesn't have it, but Judge does. I know what you're trying to get at.
Basically what I'm
It's
trying to
just a
get
great,
at is
yeah. It's
there's
just a
someone
great
who's
tandem.
equal to having Judge. Like he doesn't have to do it all on his own anymore. Like we got that caliber of player. So it should be an exciting season. And we got Verdugo, who's not like a great player, but like a good depth piece. We got John Birdie, who's not a great player, but a very good depth piece. Not as good as Verdugo, but still, somebody who you're okay with having on your roster. Guy who can steal bags and hit for contact. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. Glaber's been pretty good. Volpe's having a terrific start to the season. Oswaldo Cabrera's having a terrific start. Rizzo's been okay. Like all is well right now. The pitching rotation in the bullpen have left some to be desired. Clay Holmes, like people are starting to call him cardiac Clay because he'll give you a heart attack watching him play.
Oof. Yeah, the opening night
It's
that was definitely
deserved. I really like Clay Holmes, but it happened again today. He couldn't
opening night was
finish the
definitely
10th inning.
opening night was definitely a bit of a scare.
It was a scare today. We had to take him out. We kind of lucked into the victory today. Bases were loaded, and they had to go to a pitcher to hit the Diamondbacks. They ran out of subs. We just outmanaged them. That's what happened. I
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
what
got
happened.
to, if you're playing chess or something like that, and it's just the king left on the other team or on your team, it's just, well, the game's not technically over, but it's over. Or maybe it's just a king and a pawn. So we really locked into it. And honestly, I'm going to say it as a Yankees fan, the final strike 3 call on the dude at the plate, the pitcher, that was a ball.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to people and say like, oh, and he struck him out. It was right down the middle. This guy's a tomato can. No, I'll be the first one to say Scott McGuff got robbed. Maybe you should call us Scruff McGruff, the crime dog, the crime dog.
Yeah, no, but definitely good start to the Yankees. We'll elaborate on them more as we get into it, into the podcast tonight, or show, as you would say, as we'd say. Overall, like I said, I like what's going on in the major leagues. Corbin Burns, I know he had a good start with the Orioles in his first outing.
Your Cy Young pick.
Yeah, Shoddy, Mike from the Cubs.
Oh, Shota Imanaga.
Shodi Iminaga. My apologies. He looked great at 30 points for me in fantasy.
Yeah, you got to learn his name if he's on your team, bro. You can't be talking about, look at my guy Shuta. And
Shuda Amnagi. Oh, sure. Wait.
Imanaga.
However, Iminaga.
Inaga.
Iminaga.
Inaga.
Shodi Iminaga.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. Shodi Iminaga.
Just watch Cubs games, bro. Watch Cubs games. And you'll get there.
No, especially if Iminaga's pitching. So there you go.
Hey, and there you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
Shodi Iminaga.
Good for you.
Shadi Iminaga. So Iminaga.
I've heard Shuda. I've heard Shota.
I'm gonna say Shota. Shota Iminaga. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The first one, I don't know. But the last name is
Iminaga. But he looked
a beast.
He looked great. I mean, just looking at, he had 6 innings. I think I have it down somewhere. Give me a second. He looked great. He in his first start, he pitched 6 innings, allowed only 2 hits, No runs, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. As the Cubs got their, they got the win because they did get, yeah, they got the win against the Colorado Rockies. Yep, they did. So they look good. Just going off by ESPN Fantasy. Thank you for the news for that. And RotoWire, giving the credit to them. Uh, so they said he looked right at home as he cruised through Colorado on only 92 pitches, and he didn't allow a hit till the 6th inning. So he was cruising. And his next start is going to be against the Dodgers. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be a fun start. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Is that does it say what channel that's on? If it's televised, nationally televised, I might buy it. Might watch it.
Let me take a look.
I think I'm buying the MLB package. I definitely should buy the MLB package instead of just watching MLB Network to catch up on everything.
What's that?
Oh, you can get like the MLB app or whatever, and it shows you all the games.
Oh, all the games, right? But it doesn't show you
required.
the local games because it's black.
Right. Yeah. Which I mean, that's not the end of the world. I can just watch the Yankees and Mets. But that's another app I got to download, and then I got to download the SNY app. I'm sick and tired of downloading apps. Just talking to you before the show started because my laptop was taking forever. Technology and I, like lately, bro, I still can't play MLB The Show, fans, listeners, viewers. Still can't play it. They had Paul Neal, Bernier Williams, and Andy Pettit into the game. I'm stoked to play as the Yankees, and God, can't play it. Yay!
Yeah, technology has. Yeah, no, technology is definitely something I've had. It's I feel that. I hope you definitely able to. You know, what I mean, hey, technology's everywhere. It's gotta, I guess, learn to adjust. And I'm sorry that you happened these unfortunes, but you will be able to use Andy Pettit and Bernie Williams.
Yeah, I was able to play one game with them.
Okay,
Then
there
they
you go.
stopped working again.
That's something. There you go.
Yep, something to build off of. Offload and re-download it for the 800th time.
But hey, it will
Let's
work out.
go.
But
Can't
anyways,
wait.
with this game would be 2:20. So I think this game would be like, I guess over here it would be 5, right? Like we're 3 hours ahead of them, right? In California? No, this is in Chicago, I think. No, yeah, this is in Chicago.
So it'll be a 1 o'clock game for us. 1:15, 1:20 game. Whatever.
This is in Chicago. Yeah, I don't think it's like nationally
I think
broadcast.
they're just an hour behind us. You know, you would think history major and all that, I would be good with the like the time zones, but I'm not. I'm really not.
Hey, it is
It's
what
not
it is.
something we really learned as kids either.
What's that?
Time zones. We never learned this as kids.
Yeah, no, honestly, I didn't
You
really.
and I,
I
we
think
went to
it's.
the same school.
I
Well,
think
we
it's
not the same
maybe.
elementary
Yeah.
school, but
I think it's when I went to California that, like in 2016, like, and I was entering my junior year of high school. I didn't know like about the time difference. Maybe I did. I can't remember. That was really the only time I can remember that I understood the time difference. And I remember when I got to California, our flight was like maybe at 7 o'clock. And I think, but when we got there, I think it was like, it was late, I think, if I'm correct. We're like, wait, so in California, we 3 years before we get back, we 3 years, not years, we 3 hours ahead or back.
ahead. We're always ahead of them.
Yeah, so I think when I got there, it was like, in reality, it was a 6 hour flight. So you would have thought we would got there at like 1 o'clock. It was really like 10 a.m. or 10:30.
You time traveled.
Yeah, it was like it was early. I remember it was like 12 o'clock. I think we got to the Airbnb, but like it hit me the time zone. It hit me like you know what I mean? Because my body didn't know. Like my body thought it was like 10 a.m. like 1 a.m. Meanwhile, it was like 9 o'clock over in California, 9 p.m.
Yeah, that hit me when I went to and came back from Europe. It hit me. Like that first day, I was like, whoa, that's a little nuts. And when I came back, I was like wired. at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, no,
So
just
that actually coming home, it took me longer to adjust, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I don't remember, so now I have to go back to Europe and have more adventures,
I
so I can
remember when I
remember.
came back from California, and hey, we should go to Europe one day. Should be
That
down.
would
I
be
would go to Europe. If you go to Europe, I would love to come.
Battin and Chattin takes Europe.
Yeah, hey, like if you ever go to Europe, I'd be down. Let me know.
I guess
Um,
there's too my pennies for that one.
that I gotta save as well. That's a lot of pennies. I gotta save ton of pennies. But when I came back from California, that's when like I remember I came home. It was I didn't do anything that night. It was like a Saturday night. I I slept the whole day. I think like 8 o'clock. I went to bed, being awake. Like I slept like 12 hours because that was my body like adjusting.
Mhm.
It was crazy. But so yeah, no, like but yeah, no. So I thought the game would have been at Dodger Stadium, but no, it's at Wrigley Field. That I can confirm.
Yeah, I just remembered it's a baseball show.
But hey, it's okay if you go
Just
off the
talking
track a
about the
little bit.
minute details of time zones and
But hey,
excursions abroad.
that's what makes the show interesting.
Yeah, it's more
But
relatable that way.
yeah, another pitcher that had a good start, Nathan Eovaldi. He pitched 7 innings, only allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. That's a player on my fantasy team that is doing good.
Well, he's not on my fantasy team, but I'll tell you what. Um, I do think the best um, pitcher so far has to be Ronel Blanco of the
Oh
Houston
yes, yes,
Astros.
that's another player. Yes, we're gonna. Thank you for bringing him up because Ronald Blanco throws the 17th no hitter in franchise history and the first of the season, as you just said. It was only his 8th career start as a 30-year-old. Didn't make his debut until 2 years ago. That's crazy. And he threw 7 strikeouts, only 2 walks in the Astros 10-0 win. So good for him. And only his 8th start. That's crazy, Dennis.
That is crazy, and even crazier with their 16th no hitter. The Houston Astros now have the most no hitters ever
Really, I
since
didn't know that.
1960. Since 1960. I guess that might be when they first started counting it, or I don't know why everything I see is at 1960 or the expansion era. That's what I kept seeing. So I don't know if teams did it before them. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an open secret that, like, in the early 1900s, I'm not saying I would have been a baseball superstar because I wasn't good at any level, but you know, you're playing a doubleheader and both teams were completely hammered on moonshine, and their diet consisted of hot dogs and I don't know,
Cigarettes.
and cigars. So, and cocaine in their Coca Cola.
Hey, yo.
So, like, you know what I mean? We weren't exactly. I'm sure the dog days of summer, pre air conditioning, pre central air. Oof, terrible to think about. I, basically, what I'm getting at is I'm sure there's a lot of no hitters and perfect games and whatnot from back then that probably shouldn't have happened.
Probably. I mean, hey, look at David
Good
Wells.
for you. Hey, it's better to be lucky than good. Yeah, you're right. Look at Doc Ellis, my favorite sports
Not
story ever.
not recommended. Not recommended. People do, but he's one example of someone who, well, yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, we don't recommend anybody doing what David
or
Wells did.
contemporary, or Doc Ellis of the Pirates.
Doc Ellis.
Oh, you haven't heard this story? I love this story. He threw a no hitter when he was on acid. He thought Richard Nixon was the home plate umpire.
I feel like you told me this before. I feel like you have.
I love it. Anytime, like a lot of times when they show Pirates games, you'll see like older fans wearing tie dye Pirates jerseys that say Ellis, ELLIS .D on the back of the shirt as like the jersey, Ellis D, because his name was Doc Ellis, D Ellis.
Wow, that's
When it
crazy.
hits you,
That's
you'll live.
crazy. We don't no, that's crazy.
Obviously, not advocates for it. It's just an interesting story, but
No,
the
no,
kind of
yeah, no,
story you'd
it's
expect in
yeah.
1970s baseball, and the kind of story I'm talking about. Of
Yeah, no, it's an
it's
interesting
not like
story.
guys were
Wow.
dialed in. The guys weren't locked in, as kids are starting to say now, right? Um, as often as they are now. So congratulations to Ronel Blanco, not on acid, as far as I know, during this game, and it shows 7 strikeouts, only 2 walks. Stand him up, knock him down. Good for him, man.
Yeah,
And the
congrats
Astros
on
have
a
had
safe
bad
start.
pitching thus far. Not bad starting pitching, but really bad bullpen work. There's a lot of questions heading into the season about that rotation. Some guys have answered questions, some have left them unanswered thus far. And I think hopefully Ronel Blanco will answer some of those questions. I mean, this guy he's the talent is there. Clearly, threw a no hitter
Mm,
and 7 strikeouts in today's game across 9 innings. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will say, well, maybe he doesn't have the best stuff or whatever. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. If you're getting outs, you're getting outs. Not everything's got to be a strikeout.
right.
It's good to pace yourself that way. And
Sorry,
no, it's okay.
I didn't scare you with that.
And Mr. White, he did okay for himself. He did all right. Did all right for himself.
Yeah, like I said, congrats to Ronald Blanco. Hopefully not on acid. Like I said on the Battin Chattin podcast, we don't recommend
We don't
any.
recommend any
We
kind of any substances,
yeah,
enhancing substances be used
we don't just
before pitching a game.
we don't recommend
Alcohol, drugs,
we don't recommend any drugs. No.
just Wheaties. The cereal.
Anyways, yes, we cereal, yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so like I said, we don't recommend doing any drugs. So, anyways, but no, congrats. That was an interesting story, though. Thank you for telling the
Yeah,
story.
you gotta look into it. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, Richard Nixon as the umpire. That's intense.
Yeah.
Next thing I'm going to see. Trying to think what president. I don't know. Trying to think what president. Next, I'll see. Maybe George Bush. Actually, no.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like I said,
Brandon, if you ever see George Bush being home plate umpire for your game, you might have a problem.
that would that would be a problem. Like I said, we don't recommend doing any drugs. That's it.
I think he owned the Rangers for a little bit, didn't he?
I think he might have. Yeah,
He
maybe
had
the
some
Astros.
no, it definitely wasn't the Astros. It was 1000% the Rangers. He had something to do with the Rangers. I forgot if he owned them or if he was like a shareholder, like exactly what his role was.
Maybe
But
I'll look it up later.
He was involved with them. The first president to play Little League Baseball.
Huh?
Bet you did. The first president to play Little League Baseball. It hadn't been invented as an organized institution up until he was born. So he's the first president to play Little League Baseball.
That is pretty interesting. How old is he, George W.
That
Bush?
is a good
Before
one. I don't know if
uh,
it's W or HW. I think I might just be
I think
getting emotions confused.
he's HW,
Well,
or
the older one is HW, but
the older one is HW, and the son is
first president to play Little League Baseball.
George W. Bush.
I think it's George W. Bush. That's why he's always at the
Yes,
Little League World Series. Yep. Okay. Interesting. A lot of fun facts today.
he's 77, and he was
Is he
governor.
younger than both? Is he younger than both of the people that might be running this year?
I think they're the same age, around that. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't care that much. Baseball. All
Yeah,
right.
baseball. Yeah, thank you for steering us away. But anyways,
Dodgers leading 4-1 over the Giants. Yeah, how about that?
it's also interesting. Ynier Diaz, is he low-key a steal? As he is the first catcher in MLB history to have a multi-homer game during a game in which he called a no-hitter.
Astros fans are really high on this dude. They
I feel
are
a lot of
really
people are.
high on him. That's all they were talking about last year was how come they keep playing Maldonado? How come they keep playing this dude? How come they... Well, he's getting his time. He's getting his minutes. He's making the most of it. So good for him, man. There's a lot of young catchers that are good. You don't usually see that. Let me rephrase that. There's a lot of good offensive catchers that are young. Will Smith, who just signed an extension, we talked about that last week.
Francisco Alvarez.
Francisco Alvarez. Maybe this Austin Wells kid is all right. Who knows?
Not Jose Trevino.
No, dude. I like Jose Trevino. He can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. He had like one good offensive year that I could think of. Maybe he had another one at some point, but he's also older.
Right.
I'm talking about young dudes. Adley Rutschman, Jonah Heim, guys like that.
Yeah, there's a lot
Long
of great
Island,
catchers in the game.
Long Island Zone, Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah, there's a lot of young great catchers in the game right now, man. Especially offensively, like you said.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I don't know, and some that aren't great, like Joey Bart, who just got sent down from the Giants.
Did they trade him?
Did they trade him? They
did.
Designated for assignment, but I didn't see where he went.
They actually did it. They made a trade for him. Let me see if I can look it up quick.
Yep, he went to the Pirates. Ahoy, matey. Welcome aboard. He's now on an undefeated team. Undefeated Pirates after 1 week of opening week baseball.
What happened? What happened, Joey Bart? What's going on with that?
Draft bust.
Really?
I'm not trying to sound like a hater. It's just, I don't know. Draft busts or draft busts. If you knew why, they wouldn't happen. It just is the way it is. They had high hopes, man. They thought he was going to be the next Buster Posey, and instead he was the next draft bust. Sorry, he was right there. I had to. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Hey, it happens.
Hopefully he could rebound in Pittsburgh. I mean, sometimes just a change of scenery.
Right, 100%.
No, took me way too long to get
just
out.
Wasn't meant to be.
Hey, whatever, man. It wasn't the will of the force.
But hey, it's luckily your teams are fortunate. Like we're rich. There's Diaz, Will Smith, Alvarez, Aldi, Jonah Heim. Those are the young catchers in the game right now that are offensively putting it together. But yeah, Diaz is pretty good so far.
They have an embarrassment of riches in that lineup, man. Altuve, Alvarez, Tucker, Diaz.
Jordan looked great for me today. He freaking put up 16 points.
Jordan's a beast.
I'm glad I took him. I made sure I took him.
He's a glass cannon. I've had him in the past. He's a glass cannon.
Like he gets hurt?
Oh boy, does he! When he plays,
me.
he's one of the best hitters in the league. When he doesn't, he doesn't.
Oh, don't scare me like that.
Hey man, buyer beware. That's all I'm saying, brother. All I'm saying. Same thing like Chris Sale. I'm not taking Chris Sale in our league.
No.
I'm not taking him. At this point, I've been burned by Chris Sale so many times. If he wins the Cy Young and has a 1.0 ERA, God bless you, Chris Sale. Wish nothing but the best for you, your family, your friends, your acquaintances, whatever. Not taking him.
You know who I did take that I remember you said you had question marks about? Brady Singer. He had 30
points. And I look like an idiot.
He gave me 30 points. I knew he was a stud. When I heard the name Brady Singer, come on.
I've been high on him since the 2020 season. I've had all my Brady Singer stock. I started selling a little bit off, but I'm still in the Brady Singer can be a stud.
Right. No, I mean, I should have done more research on him before taking him.
If you did more research, would you have taken him? I'm curious.
That's a good question. It's a good question, but I took a chance. I don't know. I heard the name Brady, and I was like, you can't go against wrong with anybody named Brady. Sometimes, but actually, you can't really. So yeah.
No hitter into the 7th or 8th in 2020. And Pedro Martinez was talking him up on MLB Network, and I never forgot that. It's like if Pedro likes him, he knows a lot more about baseball than I do. I know a lot about baseball, but I'm not Pedro Martinez. I'm not a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Threw 10 strikeouts, and he only allowed 3 hits and 1 walk. He had a great game against Minnesota. That was on Easter.
And Bailey Ober did not have a great game on Easter. Oof. Cost me in 2 leagues.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to see it.
Yoshi Yamamoto, he put together a decent start after getting torched in Japan
Did
against
he
San
did?
Diego. Oof. But looked better this time against St. Louis as he had pitched 5 innings, allowed only 2 hits, and had 5 strikeouts, having 18 points. That's pretty good.
You're like me. You just look at the fantasy points. That's how you
Is
know if someone had a good game or not. You just look at the points.
that a problem?
Scorekeeper, what do you got?
I mean,
It's
hey,
easy. It's easy. Listen, people aren't going to like that as a metric. Fantasy points.
you
It's
seen
not going to appear.
Breaking Bad, right?
Uh,
Oh,
enough.
okay, I was gonna say you would have known the scene. I was gonna be like, "Hey, you got me." I'm not gonna spoil it, but that's one of the
Oh,
scenes.
I do know. Like I've heard of it.
Yeah, when Walter White
Heard that scene.
when
Yeah.
Walter White does that, I'm like reenacting it now. When he was like, "Hey, you got me." But hey, I mean, he's looked better. But no, it's just good to see these players. It's good to have baseball back.
Yeah, it's good. What
It's
about
pretty
Bryce
good.
Harper? The
Oh, he had
first
a 3 home
player
run
since
game,
at
right?
least the first player since at least 1900
Okay.
to come into a game hitless to start a season and hit 3 home runs.
Okay.
And I had him in my other league. So I kept getting the notifications. And anytime I thought to myself, like, man, Harper's really having one today, I'd get a vibration, I would look, and he hit another one. It's like, whoa, unbelievable, this guy.
Wait, who is this again?
Bryce Harper.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
He's a beast. He's a
Yeah.
beast.
No, he looked really good. Not gonna lie. After I heard the 3 home runs, it's crazy how he's at first base now. I remember watching him his whole career. He was in the outfield.
Yeah. Well, they moved on from Reese Hoskins now. And
Is he full time first baseman?
yeah, he's their full time first baseman. Maybe they'll switch him and Schwarber throughout the season, but I haven't seen any reports of that. It's just, I guess it kind of makes sense, like pseudo DH Schwarber one game, but not like I haven't seen reports of that or anything like that thus far. Hey man, it's working for them. Kudos to him. He learned a new position
Yeah.
so he could get back sooner to help his team last year. Now I do kind of feel bad for Reese Hoskins, who couldn't stay with the Phillies because of it, and I'm sure he probably would have wanted to stay his whole career as a Philly. But that's the nature of the beast. I think he's doing all right for himself with the Brewers right now. He's off to a nice little start. He played you guys.
I know he did. Yeah.
He did. Opening series. Got any thoughts on that? Let me hear it.
Yeah. No, we get to a quick. Yeah, definitely interesting. Definitely interesting series. I got a funny story. So I remember I was up all the way on the upper deck because we were getting Sean. Now, folks out there, if you're hearing this, so when people tell you, like, hey, we're gonna take like one more person's like, hey, like, I want to take the 11:51, so you make it to the game on time. Great. But then the other person's like, no, 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 let's wait for me. We'll take the 12:26. You bet your, and the game starts at 1:40. You bet your ass we're gonna take the early train. You can meet us there. So
Naturally.
my friend Sean, he met up with us. Obviously, Sean.
Yeah.
But no, like so we were going to get him, and so as we're on the upper deck, we're walking, and so when Reese Hoskins was up, he was going up against Severino, and I just felt it in me. I said it to people. I said to Sean. I said to my friend James. I said it. I'm like, he's gonna hit a home run here. Watch. And these ladies who are Met fans, they're like yelling at me. They're like, hey, shut up. Like, don't say that. And I'm like, it's gonna happen. And what do you know? 3-run homer right to left field, a blast. Out of here. See ya. It was gone. And then I said it. And there was a guy who was next to me. He was laughing because he knew I predicted, because he the whole time he heard me talking to the ladies. He heard me he was amazed how I predicted that. You're not a Met fan if you don't know stuff like that happens. Like, come on.
Clairvoyant buddy.
The Met fans kept heckling him. I was heckling him too. I mean, I was booing the guy. Come on. Um, and so when but come on, you can't make that up. You're not a Met fan if you don't know stuff like that happens. I've seen it happen before. 2016, I was there for that when Syndergaard threw behind Chase Utley, he got thrown out. I was there for when Chase Utley hit 2 home runs. He torched the Mets that game, and he personally said he hates the Mets. So you know what I mean. I've seen it happen in person, and I saw it again with Rhys Hoskins. So you know, was the heckling worth it? I mean, first off, to Rhys Hoskins, I mean, with the slide, like I hate it when I was watching First Take today and Mad Dog. You know Mad Dog, right? Chris Russo.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You had dinner with him. You had coffee with him the other day at Starbucks.
Yeah. No, I doubt. Yeah.
He
No,
was talking about like the McNeil hit and how he was showing baseball hits that used to be like tough. Showed one of Pete Rose, I think in the All-Star game.
yeah, he ended Ray Foster's career.
Was that it? Really? That's insane.
Yeah, in the All-Star game. Ray Foster continued to play, but he went from being an All-Star to not being very good
Oh, that sucks. Damn it, Pete Rose.
because he had head injuries.
Right. Yeah. And but he also showed, which I didn't like. He showed the Chase Utley hit on Tejada, which you could tell was really like I didn't like how Chris Russo was trying to make it like exceptional, like this is what baseball was like. And I like how Stephen A. and it was Lewis Reddick, who's a football analyst, who was kind of like, no, like this hit was kind of like they were kind of like, I see what you mean with the other hits. I don't know if the P Rose hit was what you're talking about, because if that was that, they should have said that was excessive, but they kind of yelled at him for that, like, hey, like the Ruben Tejada hit is a bit excessive. Like that was a dirty hit, dirty slide.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the video I sent you, the John Boy video? I sent it in the chat. I have issues sending things in our chat because it's not iPhone. It's not an iChat or whatever. I don't know.
I gotta take a look at it, but
It's a long video. But the Mets do not slide to break up double plays. They don't even try to break up double plays. Like your team is behind the 8 ball. That's what McNeil was mad about. He was saying what you did is against the rules, and Rhys Hoskins was like, "No, it's not." That's why the Mets didn't get the call. Like your team doesn't know how to break up double plays. Your team doesn't try to break up double plays. That is astounding to me.
I think maybe just like I don't know, maybe
That's crazy. Yeah. Like I because he made contact with Jeff McNeil. I could understand people saying it's dirty, but not against the rules. The way I described it the other day on my college radio show was I said to my co-host Josh Gable, I said to him, it was like a hip drop tackle in football, which is now outlawed. It's not dirty. It's not against the rules, but you look at it and you think, yeah, it's a little dirty sometimes. That's how I looked at it. He made contact with the guy. He slid into him. It sucks. Not against the rules. He held on to the bag. He didn't slide through the bag. He followed the rules. He broke up the double play. Like Harold Reynolds on the night it happened broke down on MLB Network for over for an entire segment why McNeil was in the wrong. Just the fundamentals of your second baseman, your middle infielder, you have to expect contact every time. And then I see a video today by John Boy breaking down all of the times the Mets missed opportunities to break up double plays. Like, oh, that's where the confusion is. You guys just don't know the rule. Your team doesn't know the rule.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Is like that is insane. Going back like years, and they're showing opportunities where the Mets just aren't sliding. The way they're sliding so early on the double play attempts that you're just giving a wide open like a wide open throw to first base. And then you go to Rhys Hoskins, who anytime he slides into second base, he's like a savant with breaking up double plays. He has like the timing perfectly. So it was like an unstoppable force meeting, no offense, a very movable object. That's what happened. And they got into it. As far as like the yelling and cursing or whatever that they did, afterwards. At first, I was like, of course, Reese Hoskins is going to start chirping after he's back at the dugout. But then it dawned on me, like rewatching it, I was like, oh, he didn't realize he was still going. Because he says to him, you can see the clips of him, is like, you're still going about this? Because he sees it now within the context I'm now aware of, which is like, he's looking at it as like, bro, I followed the rules. What are you mad about? Like,
I guess he's
his
mad
was a
because like he was
genuine.
worried about. I guess he was because like I mean, he
Oh,
was
I
worried
mean, Neil
about
is totally justified. It's like one of those,
right.
like I said,
Yeah,
it's not
like come on.
against the rules. It's just a dirty play. Like it just could be construed as a dirty play.
But it's
Therefore,
okay. It was okay for him to slide the way he did. Unless it would have been like if it was a Chase Utley slide, then it would have been a
oh
different
yeah, the
story.
Chase Utley,
Yeah.
You know how you can tell the Chase Utley slide was dirty. Look at Chase Utley's reaction.
Do I think? Yeah.
They challenge it. Don Mattingly challenged that call. It goes in favor of the Dodgers. You can see Chase Utley does not want to go back out because he knows he kind of, it was, like I said, not against the rules, but a dirty play.
Right, and I mean, like I said, with McNeil, was he justified for it? Like for sure.
Yeah, I
But
mean, if you
like
got
I said, was
slid
it a
into,
bit
you
over
would be mad at
exaggerated?
first too.
Was it a bit over exaggerated? Probably, yeah. Like
Yeah.
the benches didn't need to clear.
No,
like,
of course that was stupid.
I get it, but yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they just, I'm not trying to say it, but I don't think Reese Hoskins is as liked by the Mets as you would think.
You guys have thrown
Dating back from when he was on the Phillies and that home run trout. Come on. So
after you guys threw at him.
Was that
after you guys threw at him? Because they showed. I was watching that on MLB Network. They showed that clip because that's what happened. It was the same kind of a play. He did the slide. They got mad. They threw at him, and then he hit a home run and trotted. They threw at him again. That's what happened. No, I'm sorry. They threw at him after he hit the home run. He did a slide like that. They were chirping at him. He hit a home run, so he took his time. Then they threw at him. So you guys were wrong then for the same reason you're wrong now. You still don't know the rules. It's astounding to me. Nobody in the Mets organization has been able to figure out that like you're behind the 8 ball. It's nuts. I know a lot of people like.
I mean, hey, like I said,
on this, but it's the craziest thing.
Like I said,
it's
just
crazy.
Hoskins and the Mets. It's a deep rivalry between the two. Like I said,
it's very one-sided. I feel like it's very, very one-sided because they had said the same thing on the SNY broadcast. It was like going back to that long home run trot, and I like that. I obviously like that both. But then, like once I actually went back and looked at the sequence of events, like, you guys were completely wrong on that.
Like, right, you guys, Fernandez and Gary Cook, they're all over.
Yeah, they were completely wrong on that. Like he did the home run trot and took his time after they already got on him about it. So he was like, all right, fine. You want to curse me out and throw a tantrum? I'll hit a home run and I'll take my sweet time. Then they threw at him again.
Well, you didn't, so like I said, like hey, like Mets fans were I was booing him too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but like I said, McNeil here, was he justified for it? Sure, yeah. Was it over exaggerated? Probably. Yeah, but hey, at the end of the day, the team sport, they kept their composure, they kept their cool. Well, the Yoha, it definitely put, what I'm confused on, it definitely looked intentional. But like, he's running for the ball after, I guess he realized there was a runner on first. I guess after he threw the pitch, it looks like he's going like acting cool, like nothing happened. But then you see him running to home plate, like he's looking for the ball.
Oh yeah,
because he thought for the runner, and then that's when they ejected him after that because like that's when the benches almost cleared again, and just to avoid any hesitation, they threw him out just to get avoid any further conflict.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. In that kind of a situation, you're really going to be throwing at a guy to send a message to what, like throw away the game? I do kind of feel like that you guys on that part got a raw deal. I think it really was just, the old saying, like the ball is going to find you. If you don't know what you're doing, like the ball's always going to find you. I think it was kind of one of those, like just like bad things happen at the worst possible times.
Right.
I think that's what happened. Maybe they were trying to go a little inside and got away from it. Maybe they tried to just throw one behind them, like whatever. But
yeah.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, but hey, you know what? But I remember it was cool when Edwin Diaz came out, and I got to see. We left in the top of the night, so we were able to watch that at bat, Diaz versus Hoskins, and he popped out. So when he was running, when he was coming back to the dugout, I was waving by at him because, like I said, like Met fans, we were heckling him, and hey, he got back at us. So hey, hey, he kind of did good. So hey, karma on us, sure. So like I said, for him heckling, we deserve that. Um, but like I said, hey, I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he has a good season. You know, like I said, you never never wish any downfall on anybody. So but it was definitely in it was definitely not something I expected to happen. Start the season, the Hoskins shenanigans. um, sorry, I was trying to catch my breath. Yeah, it was just it was definitely interesting. I don't think it was needed because look, we got swept by them. Hoskins destroyed us. I just think it's cool that I predicted that home run. It's like I said, like as a Mets fan that I am, you have to know that stuff like that happens. Like you heckle a player, he's gonna come back at you. That's literally what happened. So yeah, like I said, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. So now now we're on the Mets. And I guess we get to the Yankees.
Shaman and I had a good start for you guys. That's something to look forward to.
Oh, he looked great. He only allowed one hit, and I was the last out of the inning when I think it was Nimmo who got the outfield assist, and they tagged him out. Forgot who was running, but it was he looked great. Everyone was like doubting the signing. They're like, Sean Manaea, who the heck is this guy? Saw the hair, and they're like, what the heck?
I said it on here that it could have gone one of two ways. He had a terrific second half with the Giants. He changed some pitching mechanics around and tried new pitches and new grips, and it did wonders for him. So I said there's potential there, but if you look at the stats and whatnot, you would think that he's kind of maybe, I don't know if washed up is the right word, but kind of petering out his career.
He looked great.
Yeah, he
I
did.
loved it.
Very good for
I,
you
I, I
guys.
loved watching it.
Yeah,
Um,
guys, this guy's still getting wins, man.
yeah, no, that was embarrassing watching that game. They
Doesn't
had
help.
so many opportunities. I don't know what's going on. We can't hit for anything. I don't get it. What's going on here? First game of the season.
Your lineup should be good.
It should be.
All anybody's
But
been
no,
talking
you know
about
what it
this
is? I'm not
lineup.
surprised because this is what happens. They're either really when they're cold, they're cold. They're ice cold. They're Antarctic cold. They're polar bear cold.
Tell me about it.
You want your Coke on a Sunday. You had an Italian
The
restaurant. You get
Coca
chicken
Cola,
parmesan.
the
The Coke you want Coca Cola. It's iced cold Coca Cola. Or you had Miller's and you want Coca Cola with your wings. They are iced cold. Okay, and when they're hot, the lineup is insane. So I'm not surprised. It's insane. Nemo I think is like 1 for 15, or I think Lindor.
sheesh.
Sheesh, indeed. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the lineup as I try to pull up the stats. Okay, Nemo is his average is 0.63. So is Lindor's. Alonso is so far the best hitter with actually no. Alvarez is so far the best hitter hitting 429. Marte's actually been pretty good. Stalling Marte. He was 2 for 4 the other night. Brett Beatty, I don't know what else to make out for him. Harrison, everyone's roasting Harrison Bader, which I'll give some time. So like I said, I'm not panicking yet, but at the same time, this is not good. I don't like what I'm seeing. So I'm hoping that they adjust as the season goes. I get it. It's only the first 5 games. Only 4 games for the Mets because they can't. This is the third rainout they've had. They got rained out Tuesday. They got rained out today, Wednesday. So they have a doubleheader tomorrow. So hopefully they put something together. Um.
Yeah. Through
So yeah.
the through the first 3 games of the season, the Brewers series, Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor, and Jeff McNeil were a combined 3 for 36, a .083 batting average, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 0 extra base hits, 10 left on base.
Disgusting.
So that you can't be having that.
Nope. But like I said, it's only the first 4 games. I'm not trying to panic, but this doesn't look good. Just win. Let's get a win. Like, come on. I know the Tigers are supposed to be one of the good teams this year. Look at the Central. You have them winning in the Central. But come on.
Now it's my team. That's a happy thoughts.
So I don't know, man. But we'll see. But so far the pitching is all right. Severino could have looked a little better. I wasn't impressed by him. Freaking 12 hits. That's a career high.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not a good day at the office for him.
No. He gave up 12 hits and 6 earned runs on 88 pitches and only 5 innings. Like I said, that's a career high for him. At least the bullpen is looking good. And I said it before the season. I said it plenty of times that they got depth in the bullpen. Like if a guy struggles, like I feel like they have a lot of depth in it. And so far, I mean, like I said, the pitching has been decent. It really has. They just need to hit. Freaking hit.
And all anybody was talking about was that lineup. Like I keep saying, man. You guys had 1 hit week, game 1, 2 hits, something like that. You can't be doing it, man.
So
yeah, I mean,
you
guys got the guys, like we were saying. When you guys get hot, you guys can really go far. Speaking of hot, my Yankees, let's go. I'm so stoked. We swept Houston. We beat the brakes off them. Soto got the better of Josh Hader. Let's put your best against our best. We won. I can't wait. I got tickets. Well, you got tickets too. To when the Astros come to town, Yankees Stros, May 7th, 7:30 p.m. Now I got an extra ticket that I have to find someone to take, but whatever. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting.
That should be
Jonathan
fun.
from the league is going to be with us.
Yeah, no, that should be a fun game. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know if you can't find anybody. I'll try to find somebody. I'm sure you will. I think you're gonna find.
Yeah. Yeah, I've already reached out to people. Maybe I'm going to see my cousin Saturday, or maybe I'll try to talk him into trying to come with us.
Okay.
But I don't know. That would be kind of close. 7:30 game, and he has work that day, and he'd be coming in from Jersey. So, yeah, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. This is going to be a fun season. This is really going to be a fun season. So my team's been good. We won today in extras. We lost yesterday? We lost, but we won Monday. Yeah, so we're 6-1.
We lost yesterday 7-0.
Yeah, all right, whatever. You have days like that. You move on. No team's going to go 162-0. What teams or players have you been most surprised by thus far?
It's a very good question. There's been a lot. I can't think of any on the top of my head. I would say I'm surprised by Alvarez.
He's been good for you guys, huh?
I guess maybe Mike Trout. I know he's always on his A game. I know he's always on his A game, but I know a lot of people have a lot of doubts on him because of his age and injury. But start of the season, he looked great. I don't know if you saw, he was making a lot of defensive plays.
Oh yeah, he's always a good defender.
It reminded me of like 2012 Trout. I'm not trying to make him out like he's like Ichiro Suzuki in like 2019, but I'm saying a lot of people have their concerns on Trout, and he's proven everybody wrong.
Yeah.
So that's one player.
Yeah, my player for a positive would be Oswaldo Cabrera of the Yankees. He's had 22 at bats, 9 hits, 2 home runs, 409 batting average, 4 runs scored, 7 RBIs, and an OPS of 1.186, OPS plus 244. League averages 100. So he is more than double a average hitter right now. Is Waldo Cabrera for the Yankees. He's been terrific, man. As has Anthony Volpe for the Yankees, whose stats I'll pull up right now.
Mm,
Obviously we're expecting stuff out of Judge, Soto, and guys like that. But to have these dudes doing it, Anthony Volpe's even better than Cabrera. 17 at bats, 9 hits, 1 homer, 529 batting average, 5 runs scored, 3 RBIs, OPS 1.501, OPS plus 339. So he's more than triple league average. So good for him. And listen, it's early. Those stats, they're bound to go down. But I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him to have this kind of start. And hopefully, if he's like a last year, I thought he kind of sold out for power a little too much. If he just prioritizes contact, the power is going to come naturally. He's got that kind of swing.
right.
So don't force it. And it's hard for guys to not force it, man. Like the commercials say, chicks dig the long ball. They know what gets guys paid. I mean, seriously, look at Luis Arias, right? Dude hit 330? He finished with 340. He still lost arbitration. I'd be
Right.
pretty mad too. So, as far as the negative goes, oh yeah, I didn't expect my Marlins to be
Mm,
winless. 0-7, their worst start in franchise history. The worst start since what? The 2009 Minnesota Twins, I think I read somewhere. I mean, it's not fun.
no.
Jake Berger, he's in 310. Like, he's not bad. He's got 8 RBIs already. How's my guy Josh Bell doing? I haven't really done like the nitty gritty to figure out why my second team has not been good. Hmm. Josh Bell hasn't been what they expected. 231 batting average, 1 RBI, 624 OPS. My guy Timmy Anderson, 231, 1 RBI. Not what you expect. And
That's what happens. Yeah.
Arias, a 185 batting average. Jesus,
Whoa.
this time last year he's hitting over 400.
That's insane.
I mean, he did go hitless for the first 2 games, so his batting average is naturally like really down.
It happens.
This time of year, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it happens. What you gonna do?
0-7. Jeez, man.
Yeah, the Marlins. What's going on with them?
And they've been scoring runs. Like, that's kind of the crazy part. Their team has been scoring runs, bro. They lost 6-5 game 1, 7-2, 9-3, 9-7, 7-4, 3-1, 10-2. They're not an offensive powerhouse, but they're not getting shut out. Like, they have games where they've scored more than 3. That's not bad at all. So just bizarre. Hopefully they can right the ship a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
So what's this about the Royals voters declining something?
Yeah, so they this is big for the city of for both the Chiefs and for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals. So the voters declined a sales tax measure that would have helped fund a new Royals park and Arrowhead renovations. Now the Royals want to leave their stadium in Kauffman Stadium and move to a new ballpark, while the Chiefs all they want to do is just renovate their stadium, which is 52 years old, Arrowhead Stadium, that is. And this renovation will be an $800 million project. So if you want me to read more into it, I will. But
Yeah.
that's definitely pretty interesting. When I read up on it, I feel like it was definitely interesting to talk about. I feel bad. Arrowhead Stadium is definitely old. Definitely rocks.
Hmm.
I can't believe that it's what's going on right there. It's crazy because saw something today that Dallas wants them now. Imagine Dallas having two teams. I don't think that would ever happen.
Dallas wants the Chiefs.
Yeah, like the city of Dallas.
Why?
I have no idea. This is news to me. When I heard of that, I was like, "What?"
Whatever.
I was like, "Huh?"
You know me, I get interested in like the sports economics part of things and like that kind of stuff, like the culture, the relocation, things like that, the weird stuff. Um, I just feel like a lot of those teams, like a lot of those guys that want to make those decisions, just make the wrong decisions.
Right.
Like saying like, "Oh, Dallas needs two football teams." Kind of weird.
Yeah, but
Oh, well.
it's crazy. I'm trying to get the story to read up more into it. Um, but it sucks. So I feel like it sucks that if the Royals can't get a new ballpark, I mean they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's more, this isn't the first merry-go-round. I know you said this happened before with the Giants, correct?
Which shines?
San Francisco Giants.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like 30 years ago,
Yeah.
35 years ago. And that's now kind of important with the A's because when
Mm,
they relocated
right.
or got their new stadium, whatever it was, they got the San Jose market. And now they're not letting the A's use the San Jose market to relocate, and it's whatever.
So
They don't really
yeah.
care. They want to go to Vegas anyway. That was never going to be a thing, the San Jose thing. It's just another reason
Right.
to go to
So
Vegas for whatever reason.
Dave Scaretta of the Associated Press reported that more than 58% of voters rejected the plan Tuesday had it passed the existing 3/8 of the set sales tax that helps pay for the Truman Sports Complex where both teams play would have been replaced with a similar tax. Um, and so, in quote, the tax, or more accurately, the stadium plans received significant public pushback almost from the start, when the team struggled to put concrete plans before voters and were accused of lacking transparency throughout the process. Scaretta wrote. So, what the Royals want to do, because we know what the Chiefs just want to renovate their Arrowhead Stadium. But what the Royals want to do, obviously, they want to move to a new ballpark. So they have two possible locations before it was scrapped for a potential downtown spot. And the team also pledged at least $1 billion from ownership for the $2 billion project. Plus for the $2 billion plus project, while the Chiefs committed $300 million of private money for their overhaul. So I guess maybe I don't know if it's more on the Chiefs' part. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, something's going on with that because Frank White, who was a Royals like legend and in the Royals Hall of Fame, is now in politics. And I remember you and I were talking about that a few months ago on here. He was very against it. So something's going on for a guy who was a Hall of Famer for the team to say no. That's bizarre. So they are really must be. I don't know. There's got to be some details that you and I just aren't privy to. That's probably more localized.
Yeah, hey, I mean,
But a lot of times when they make those reports national, they kind of water down some of the more minute stuff, so it's easier to follow. We got to be overlooking something, whatever. If there's any I'll look into it. If there's any developments, maybe we'll talk about it a later week or something.
yeah, and hey,
Or
just to
this
wrap
week.
up the topic, so yeah, obviously they've been in Kauffman Stadium since 1973. They
Okay.
played both their championships in '85
Yeah.
and unfortunately in '15 against the Mets in that stadium. Also,
2045. Watch out. It's going to be 30 years since the 2015 champion. Obviously, they're going to win.
40 years. Wait, '85?
2045? Since
Oh, I know what you mean. Sorry,
every
never mind.
30 years, they get it.
Every 30 years they win it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and but yeah, so I guess to wrap up, I don't know if you had anything else you want to allude on the show. Or we should wrap it up. Garrett Cole is recovering from elbow inflammation, but there's no set time to return. We make out on that.
Take your time with it. Don't rush him back. All right. I don't really have anything else.
I know the Mets signed Julio Teheran.
Yeah, sure.
I like that signing. I like it.
See what you get out of him. He's a guy that's played in the big leagues.
Yeah.
What do you get? You know, like I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I always liked Julio Teheran a lot. Oh my god, I had him on fantasy every single year. But
See what you got.
you know, see what you got.
I know he
I'm
was great on the
not
Braves. He
expecting.
always played good against the Mets.
I'm not expecting Julio Teheran to just come out and just be like, you know what, I'm prime Doc Gooden now. You know, I'm not expecting that. Expecting
We'll see.
like a mid fours ERA, 6 innings a game kind of a thing.
We'll see. But yeah, I guess it's I guess with the Mets, I hope they get their win by the next time we do the show.
I hope so too, for our sake. And for
I
your
hope
sake.
so. I know they play before this goes on. I know they play a doubleheader against the Tigers Thursday, and hopefully the hitting gets, like I said, it's when they're hot, they're hot. When they're cold, they're cold. When they're yes, and they know. You're in and you're out. You're up and you're down.
Katy Perry, man.
That's right.
The true philosopher of the 21st
Um,
century.
I like the pitching so far. I know Talking got rocked in 10th inning. It happens. But like I said, I'm not gonna panic yet on the Mets. But let's win some games. And the Yankees, they look good. See if they keep it up. They even haven't returned to the Bronx yet. Say they do. Soto, he looks good. I like Soto a lot. And so yeah, I know he's commanding 5. He's not commanding, but reports came out today that he could receive 10, like the same similar deal that Shohei got. I don't know how true that is. I know you saw that, right? When I sent it today in the chat.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm not sure how true it is. I would imagine it's pretty true.
Now, Aaron Walsh, I'm going to read this from Bleach Report and MLB Rumors. They said Yankees want Soto eyeing record free agent contract starting at $500 million.
We'll see.
Yeah. They said Soto and his agent Scott Boras are after the records on his next contract, and deals expected to be around start at
always
500
after
million.
the records, that guy, man. Boris, he's always after the records. Where'd that get him this year? Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired.
I feel like with Soto, though, it's going to be different.
Oh, yeah. Soto's actually worth it. Ooh.
Right. Yeah.
Yikes.
It's going to be interesting. But yeah, we'll see. But I guess that's it. Do you want to wrap up the show?
I never want to wrap up the show. I can talk about baseball all day, every day.
Same.
But not this day. As this concludes episode 37 of Battin and Chattin.
39.
Be sure to check out 39?
Yes.
Oh, man. I said 37 at the beginning of the program. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Be sure to check out our revamped website for the latest news in the world of baseball and so much more. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Battin and Chattin. For my co-host, Brandon Natale, and the entire Blackjack Media Group team, I'm Denis Tuohy saying so long, and we'll see you next time.